Good
Hello.
morning. Hello.
Hello, Rachel.
Hi,
Nice to
Christy.
see you. How are you doing there in Great Britain?
I'm very well, thank you. It's a little cold, but typical UK weather.
Yes, it will change very soon during the day.
It will.
It's sunny today in Armenia. I'm very happy to welcome you sometime if you will have that time to come to join this beautiful weather and to see this country. We prepared a presentation, but I think that you must start because you have a lot of to say because of your experience, and I would be happy to hear that first, and then I will jump in.
Well, ask any questions as I go, and hopefully I'm going to be able to share the screen and we'll see what happens. let's see. So I don't have the rights to share my screen, Giovanni. Is that possible to enable?
I can, for example, my screen is allowed to share.
When I click on share screen, it says host disabled participation screen sharing. Is it possible to enable that? Yeah. Can you make us co-hosts? Yeah, neither of us can. The message is there at the bottom, but when we click on share screen, it says host disabled. Are you able to perhaps make me a co-host? Will that help? That's my answer to when that happens here. Okay. There we go. Okay.
Yes. Fantastic.
That's great.
So go ahead, Rachel. I'm very honored to hear.
Okay. Just going to show PowerPoint slideshow. Okay, hopefully. Okay, is that now hopefully showing my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So here is a little bit of history about the Association of British Choral Directors, or ABCD, which is much easier for everybody to remember, I think. And it's been really interesting looking at the other discussions that we've had with other choral organisations. And it's really interesting that so many have been formed recently. And ABCD was formed back in 1986, so we've been around quite a long time, and it was formed really as a result of conductors and publishers and composers going across to the United States to the ACDA conventions and coming back to the UK and saying, why did we not have that here? And so it was formed really by the composer John Rutter alongside his publishers, Oxford University Press. And they set up a convention of choral directors and composers over here to see what people would like, and as a result ABCD was formed from that, and so the purpose was set up as being to promote, improve and maintain the education, training and development of choral directors, which sounds complicated, even if you are a native English speaker, but we try to keep to that if we can. We are one of lots of choral organisations in the UK. There is no UK national choral organisation. We have lots of different organisations working in different parts of the choral sector. So there are organisations who are there for amateur choirs, who are there for cathedral choirs, for church choirs, community choirs, but there are not many organisations who are there just for conductors, and until recently we were the only organisation just for conductors, though there are a few now online, but that's very recent. So here is a little picture from 1986. So that is the opening convention, and it's a bit blurred, but you could tell by the clothes that it's a little old, but that was the first gathering of conductors. So our structure is like many of these sorts of organisations. We're a not-for-profit organisation. So in the UK, we're a registered charity. We have a president who is John Rutter, who, as I explained, was involved in the founding. And we have two vice presidents, Brian Kay, who was one of the King Singers, one of the original King Singers, and Susan Hollingworth, who conducts up in Yorkshire and Lincolnshire, and does a huge amount with young choirs. So we're very keen that our young choirs are represented. As a charity, we have a board of trustees. All charities in the UK are required to have that, and they're responsible for overseeing our finance and the strategy of the organisation. And I think we have 6 trustees at the moment. And since 2000, we've had salaried staff. So I'm employed by ABCD, and I'm their general secretary. So I work for ABCD all the time. And I also have a colleague, Elizabeth, who's our training manager. And Elizabeth today is running a course that we're running online for beginner conductors. And so she works for us 3 days a week. And we also have voluntary officers. We have a director of training who oversees our courses, and she's running the course today. And we have a membership secretary who deals with the membership applications that come in and any queries. And then we also have an advisory council, so that there are a lot of people involved, and our council comes from all over the UK. So there is somebody from all the different regions of the UK. There are also people from our corporate members, from our publishers, and there are representatives who are practitioners, who are full-time conductors, and help oversee the activity that we undertake. And like many organisations, we have no government funding, so we have to find our own funding, either from our membership fees or from applying for funding from other sources. So our membership is open to anyone interested in choral music. Anybody can join, and we have about 600 members at the moment. And most of them are individual members. You can be a professional conductor, you could be an amateur conductor who has another job during the day and conducts choirs at the weekend, at the evening. We have quite a lot of teachers and composers. And we also have business members, corporate members, and the UK and some of the European publishers are members, tour operators who run music tours, and other choral organisations. And all of them pay an annual subscription at different rates. And we have a particular lower rate to encourage young conductors to come into the organisation. So a couple of pictures there. We run a big training programme which runs from people just starting to conduct to people who've been conducting for a long time. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. We run singing days and events around the country, one-day events. And now we also run, like many people, webinars. We have always run an annual convention. That was how ABCD started. We run that once a year. And again, I'll tell you about that in a minute. We have now a good body of online resources for our members, and some of them are available to the public as well. Those have extended a lot during the pandemic. We did have some outside funding from the Arts Council of England to make some more of these resources, and that's been really helpful. So there are videos and there's technical help on our website, and just articles to read as well. We publish an online research journal. That's quite recent. We have had 2 editions, and we're just beginning to put the third one together. And anybody can submit an article. There is usually a particular theme. The theme for the journal that we're preparing at the moment is on historic performance. But the first issue of the journal is available for anybody to look at on our website, so anybody can look at that. The second one is still available to members only. We also work a lot with publishers and with composers to promote new music, and that's a big part of convention, is looking at new repertoire. So just a little bit about our training program. We run courses, as I said, for beginners right through to advanced conductors, and those run in different ways. We run extended courses, so those courses run always at weekends, but over several months. So there's perhaps one day a month for 4 months. For an advanced course, there would be more of those sessions happening, and they are run by a pool of our tutors who are all members, all professional conductors, and we run so that we have a scheme of work for each course, and each course has to be passed at a certain level and a certificate is awarded. We also run a young conductor programme, and that runs for conductors under the age of 28. We run some courses for conductors who are under 18 and still at school, and then we also run conductors events for conductors who are between 18 and 28, so a little bit more advanced. And those are mainly one-day events, but we also run a longer course during our annual convention. We also run one-day courses, and one of those is running today, and that is a beginner's guide to conducting. So that's for people who have perhaps just started conducting or would like to start conducting. That's a basic one-day course. We also run one-day courses in person, and that includes masterclasses. So for example, we're running a masterclass in June, which is about Elgar's great oratorio, The Dream of Grontius, and we're running that in association with the Halle, and you'll have heard of the Halle Orchestra, and this is run in conjunction with the Halle Choir. The Halle have a big choral programme as well. And we run courses for school teachers, and we are very conscious of music in our schools, and it is not always well funded or well supported. There's lots of very good music in schools, but there are also schools where there is very, very little happening. So we run courses for school teachers, and we've just started a new online course for school teachers, which is going to run every few months, and runs for an hour after the school day. And that's been very well taken up. So our annual convention we've held every year since 1986. The last 2 years we've held online, And we're really hoping this year to go back to a live convention, but probably a short one. And there are just a couple of pictures there. It runs for 2 or 3 days. We hold it in different locations across the UK. So that is a big challenge for those who organise it. We have to find different venues, but it means that we hear about different choirs and music that's going on in different parts of the UK, and that includes, for us, that's England, Scotland, Wales, and that's very interesting. We are open to members and non-members. In fact, all our courses are open to members of ABCD and for anybody who wants to take part, but we charge a slightly different rate for members and non-members. And the convention includes workshops, includes lectures, it includes masterclasses. It's a very practical weekend. So there isn't very much sitting and listening. It's a lot of doing, a lot of singing, a lot of taking part. There are always performances, and we have choirs from the UK. Those are very often taken from the location that we happen to be in. The last live convention was in Birmingham, which is a very big centre of music in the UK. So we were able to have choirs from Birmingham taking part, and we also invite international choirs. So, for example, in Birmingham, we had a choir over from Hungary. We've also had choirs from the United States, from Australia, from Sweden, from Finland, from Norway, from all over the world, and that's really exciting for UK delegates to hear. And the convention also includes a trade exhibition, and you can just see a picture there. And so we have all the publishers there and composers and tour operators. Just a little bit about us during the pandemic, and I'm conscious of the time. We obviously had to do everything online, as everybody has. We had a lot of national lockdowns in the UK, and we ran a regular webinar series, and actually in lockdowns we were running them every week, and people really enjoyed coming to that. We had a lot of people coming to that, and we were able to discuss. We discovered a lot of different topics that perhaps we wouldn't have discussed otherwise, and that people perhaps wouldn't have travelled to come and hear, but were happy to bring their copy on a Saturday morning and come and discuss. We also ran our courses as much as possible online, particularly the basic courses. Those ran very, very well. We spent a lot of time giving information out to our members and to the wider choral world. There was a lot of government advice. I'm sure this is true in other countries. There was advice for schools, there was advice for churches, there was advice for the community choirs, and everybody was trying to work out which was the right advice for their choir and for them. And of course, it's all a great unknown. So we tried to provide clear information, and also to provide advice on risk management. We did a lot of campaigning for fair treatment for singing, and particularly there were various points where we felt the government was being very unfair on how it treated singers, and so we joined with lots of our colleagues around the choral world to campaign to get singing treated fairly. And we created an app which choirs reported on, and I thought you might just like to see what that looked like. We wanted to.
Yes.
Have you heard about that?
Yes, I saw it.
So we wanted to build up data on choir activity, and whether choirs were rehearsing, and whether there was any infection following that. So you could just see the app here, and just very quickly you can see the screen there about how it looked. So it was for choirs and for lots of amateur music making groups. In the UK we have lots of brass bands, for example, and whilst there were several points where professionals were allowed to perform, but the amateur sector wasn't. But of course, amateur choirs who are singing for pleasure are very often and mostly conducted by professional conductors. So there was a big issue for us with our members who were not able to be paid for their work. So you could sign up your group. It's anonymous. So in the UK, we use postcodes, and you sign up by using the first bit of your postcode. So we were able to pin down regions of the UK, but not groups by name. And that meant that people were a little bit happier to report. So it simply asks 2 questions. Did your group meet last week for rehearsal? And did any member of the group report infections in the days that followed? And then you just submit the report. If you have to report yes, then there is a more complicated form to fill out. And we have then been able to generate statistics from that. You can't see them very well, but you can see roughly. There's instrumental with singers. There are singers only, singers with wind and brass. And we were able to give people live summaries on the app as to how the reporting was going. We've now stopped taking the reports now that the restrictions have ended, but we had over 8,000 reports, which is a really, really good result, we felt. The app was built in leisure time. It was built actually by my husband, who is an IT manager, so we were able to build it for free. Otherwise, of course, it would have cost a lot of money, but that enabled us to build something for free. And we're at the moment writing a report about that and about the results of all the reports that were put into the app. So I hope that people will perhaps find that interesting in the UK and in the wider world as we all try to go back after the pandemic. The restrictions in the UK have now ended completely. COVID, of course, is still with us, though it is now much better in the UK than it was. We've had a spell of very high infections due to the Omicron variant, but most choirs are meeting again. I think the numbers are down a little, and some choirs are struggling with their finance and trying to find venues, but we are certainly making music again live, and that's really, really nice to see. For ABCD, we've started our live courses again, and those have sold really well. People are very keen to start conducting again, and that's been great for us. But we're also running some new courses, and as I said, we're running a new one for teachers, and we're running some of our online activity as well. So we found out we hope what works well, and that we can run live events and run online events as well. And for some people, the online works very well, and it means people don't have to travel. We have teachers signed up for our online course, for example, 2 of whom live on the very tiny Scottish islands, which is very, very difficult to travel from. They're on ferries which only run maybe one every few days. But if they have an online course, that means they can do singing in their little tiny schools on their islands better. So that's worked quite well for us, and we really hope to run a short but a live convention in September. So I hope that's helpful and interesting. I've just put a slide of further information for anybody who might be watching on the Facebook or YouTube channels. We have our website. We also have a Facebook page. We have a big Facebook group, which is open to anybody. We have nearly 5,000 members. And that, I say, that you don't have to be an ABCD member to join that. So if you're interested, then by all means, you can join that group. So thank you for listening, and thank you, Christine, for sitting online. I'm going to stop the share. Hopefully, there we go.
Oh, amazing. I was following your organization for years before when I was a student, and I was very interested in choral art and in general what's going on in other countries. And somehow my love came into this world, and somehow we created the organization, and really I was enjoying your activities, and what's a huge community you've created during these years. Well, thank you very much for this
presentation. Well, thank you for listening.
Okay, so here we go. It's my part.
I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, sharing the screen. Here we go.
Okay.
Oh, and here. You see this? Okay. Oh, very little. Yeah, so, Armenian Choral Conductors Association was founded on 1st November in 2013 with very renowned names of choral art in Armenia, and I'm now presenting the association. But before, we had another president, she's Gane Baghtasaryan. She has led the association for 2 years. And then we made changes in the association, because every 2 years, generally, we must have elections and change the president if we want to. All members are gathering, and now meeting we were organizing and just making some changes. So she's in our members list, of course, and helps us from the USA. She's now in California. And for this, how many years? For 7 years, I'm leading the association now. And here we go, the history. Being a link between choir and conductors of regions of Armenia and diaspora communities, Armenian Choral Conductors Association creates a fertile ground for the further development of choral art. We have been collaborating with international organizations, choral organizations such as Hurtovnia Foundations. The leader of the Hurtovnia is Justina Duma. She's from Poland. We have started the international projects together with her, and we became big friends together. And I remember everything, and our project is connected to her huge community of Polish choirs. So we organized first international seminars for choral conductors in 2015. We've gathered here like 50 choir directors, choir members, singers, and the days were filled with choral singing in Armenian songs, and also developing and exchanging together. The choirs and conductors were rehearsing, changing the choirs. One conductor was working with another choir, and that was really a huge thing from the beginning, because before we just communicated to each other. We were friends, of course, but we didn't communicate so much to go to work with that choir or to collaborate for further more opportunities. So the other one was our projects in regional festivals. Organizing regional festivals was the main thing that Armenian Choral Conductors Association was established for, because our regions are more needed the help and development of choral art, and because of the far away or not so active choirs or conductors were in a trouble to communications with these different cities in regions. So that was a huge start, of course, for the association. Having no funds, having not so many support from the governments or something, but we tried as hard as we could and as much as we could do for helping each other. And the biggest friendship was established from that time. And I will talk about that later. The mission of our association is to preserve our rich musical heritage, educating the younger generation to encourage as appropriate to educate their hair of music, fostering love towards Armenian spiritual music. As you may know, Armenian spiritual music is a very unique and special. I believe that you have heard about this, and the choir singing also is something very different that you can imagine. And we are taking care of this big heritage that we are having now. So, here we go, the IFCDA Board of Directors. You see, we are now 7 at the time. We changed as I became the president. Not so many changes, but people are being busy or changing their cities and countries or living places, and so we need new other members to be very active in leading of the association. We have 3 vice presidents and 4 members of board directors. They all are very active conductors here in Armenia. One of them is living in USA, California. So we are in touch with our diaspora communities. You may know that Armenian communities are very big abroad too, in USA, for example, in European countries and in different areas. And yes, let me say a little about our co-founders. From the beginning, unfortunately, we didn't keep these photos. We didn't make photos when we were gathering. That was really a huge thing, that all these conductors from Yerevan, from the capital, also from the other cities in Armenia, we gathered and decided how to create and what's the main goals we want to achieve, because we saw that we need that organization to communicate to each other, to exchange, to develop the choral art and masters to become in a higher level. And unfortunately, we don't have so many photos, but our main co-founders are Tigran Hegekian. You may know them from Little Singers of Armenia, Sona Havanisyan, Hover Chamber Choir leader. Now she's rector of the Yerevan State Conservatory, Sarina Aftandilian, very known Sperani choir leader, and Yuri Yuzbashian, doctor of pedagogical sciences. And I was also a co-founder at that time. I was a student, but I was very, easy to communicate, to help, to do everything. I started from general secretary then, and executive director, and became the president. So my life was very connected to association that time. And as I said, projects of IFCDA since 2014. So we started from regional choral festivals. And I want to say about the regional festivals. They were not for 1 or 2 days only. We were going to that direction. For example, Armenia Sacred Songs Festival in Haric. Haric is a big and a beautiful monastery in north of Armenia, and we were working with conductors and choirs and talking and making some changes. Mentors we created there, and we're communicating from Yerevan via phone or Skype, or very technically being connected to conductors to improve their skills. And after all this preparation phase, we were singing in a beautiful places, beautiful monasteries or churches or school halls, concert halls, and like celebrating our work during the year, all year long. Like we could go there 2 or 3 times per year, staying for a while and coming back, working there, having no other support. It was really a big friendship that we created. And singing Sunik also the biggest festival we organized in different cities at the same moment. 4 cities: Goris, Kapan, Mehri, and Sisian, the cities. All together we gathered the conductors and choirs, working with them, changing our minds or habits, how to work, how to communicate with children choir or youth or female choirs. On 2017, Armenian Choral Conductors Association decided to start a youth program, a Sunday choir program, because we decided to organize that every Sunday and communicate with not only singers who want to sing or conductors who want to conduct and or who are in this choral art, but also with another other people who are living their life without choral singing, without any music. And that was really a huge experience for us to talk about the Armenian choral music, to present every time different composition, different composer, and try to teach at the same moment, all together, sitting people to sing 2 voices or 3 voices, the Armenian national songs or spiritual songs. That was really fun because all other communities, not choral communities, were involved in choral art somehow because of our friends or our neighbors. Sometimes very funny days we started, but unfortunately we stopped that because of the communications and all the problems with the technicality to organize that. But now we are working on to continue this year after the pandemic, after these problems we had. And before World Choral Day was organizing Armenian Little Singers Association here. You may probably know about that. And from 2017, we decided to do that by ourselves, because we had that all people together, and together with the Armenian Little Singers, we organized every year World Choral Day Armenia concert, big concert, different concert halls. In 2020, you may heard about that war in our region. We, as Armenian nation, were very in a difficult situation at that time, and autumn was really very sad period, if saying so. But somehow we decided to improve, to encourage our people, and to stand as a nation, and to show that we have a huge nation and a huge community of choral art, to present this World Choral Day, and to say about that Artsakh is very strong, and Artsakh people are Armenian people, and we are very carrying this situation together. We sang that, and after that we are preparing now the World Choral Day also in December, as always. International projects. Okay, let me say about the international projects. As I started, I talked about the Polish communication with Armenian Association, but also we are working with other countries too. We recorded and organized with Armenian conductors Singing Europe second international choral CD project, where we're together Armenian, Bulgarian, Georgian, Hungarian, Moldovan, and Polish choirs together, and Ukrainian choirs together, singing different songs. And Armenia also were included in this project. That was really huge for us, because we didn't expect so much support from that organization in Poland, who collected our recordings and worked about this CD project. So after that, we presented these CDs and having concerts, having talks and trainings about the Armenian choral music. Next, we organized International Choral CD, another one, but included only Armenian choral music, different music, both spiritual, national, popular, or different music is included in this CD, Treasures of Music Armenia. Also, we did presentation, we did organize the whole concert of these CDs, but all this work period gave conductors so much energy and so much encourage to continue on another CD project. We are working on that to make recordings and to put that also together to have these collections going on. And last year we were included in Erasmus Plus program for the International Youth Exchange Program in Poland, and a choir from Tavush region. Tavush is the north region in Armenia. Not so, I don't want to say poor, but very little community of choral art there, and we decided to improving them, to show them to the world, to this choral world, to put there in this program, and the children from 10 till to 16 were going there, singing with Spanish, Polish, and Slovakian choirs, and the youth. They were earning many beautiful moments, I think, for their life. And these children will never forget this opportunity they had. Maybe this was one and the last time they were communicating with so many active and colorful people, very mind open and very interesting and motivating. And about our membership. As you said also, our membership is open for anyone who is interested in choral art. Only individual membership we are having, because we decided that by ourselves to work with conductors, amateur conductors or professional, but only conductors, because sometimes we are gathering and talking with the problems that we have, and we know how to solve that, or we are thinking how to solve these problems we have, but not including all others in this area. Maybe after years we will include also singers or other professionals, but now we are working with directly conductors. Currently around we have 70 members from Armenia and abroad. As I said, we have members from European, a few countries, several countries, America, Canada also is included, and Middle East countries. So collaboration with international choral organizations and publishing houses. As I said about the cities and how we organize these collaborations together, we are a non-profit organization, so it means that we have no so much support from other side, and all our projects we are doing in a communication together, and some budget we are having is from our membership fees, which are so small, only €2 per year. For everyone, we decided not to make differences in here because we have different people, and somehow you should try to help each other beside membership fees, or even if this conductor is member or not in the association, we are connecting with everyone and helping each other with which we can do for us. Only students have priority in participating in projects of IFCDA and using the IFCDA digital library. We have created a little but a digital library for ourselves. It works very well now because many conductors, many people as well as conductors get used to use technicalities and technical things, how to communicate with each other if you are very far and you are not having this laptop or some other techniques to get your scores or to share your library with each other. Now it works very well. We have maybe I don't know 500 examples of these libraries we are getting. Especially generally there are Armenian songs, Armenian composers, songs for choirs, for ensembles, for voices, children choirs, both youth and mixed choirs compositions are included there. And I can say a little bit about the structure. As I said, we are a non-profit organization. We have advisory council responsible for fundings and artistic direction. So when we are organizing different projects or festivals in different regions or cities in here in Yerevan, in the capital, we have this advisory board. Generally, it is our board of directors. But as I said, we are changing very often, and it's so easy to communicate to each other when we are having problems to direct some projects. We are easy to communicate to give our the advices and somehow to find some fundings for these projects. Also, we have audit committee, which is responsible for property and turnover inspection. Not so big thing that we have in our association, but we are having this for reason, because that's fun, and to collect how many things we have and how to make this clear, because as you said, that it's very open to everybody, and everyone knows what we have done, what we are doing on now, and sometimes we are changing people who are administrating these positions. It's very easy to talk and to continue working with people. We have voluntary officers. These are our treasurer, designers. I forget to put there also secretaries we have, because sometimes we really change, and it's not like a position. So nobody earns money in our organization. It's something maybe unbelievable or very difficult to organize, because we are busy and busy enough to keep time for this organization to make the things go on. But somehow it works. Maybe if Armenia was not so this type of countries that not so supportive by their organizations or governments, we are like friends, and it's easy for us to collect something, to manage some things without any finances. Only a website runner earns money sometimes, because it's a huge job and we are paying for hosting services, the website. Unfortunately, after this war with Artsakh and these problems, our website was hacked, and we stopped our website. Now we are rebranding it and redesigning that, and hopefully in maybe in a month or in the summertime, we will finish the works with website, and I believe we will be able to share more our stuff and experience to people technically provided. And a little about the activities. As you said, also we are doing the workshops for conductors, advisory for concerts program. It means sometimes conductors are asking the program or the songs or the scores, but we have this advisory board that who can communicate and somehow to give the direction for the conductor to work on. It's somehow this is a mentor program for the conductors. Training programs for regional conductors and choirs, as I said already. This is ongoing program we are doing with the conductors, because we every time we are learning, and they are learning also from us to organize concerts, how to sing, how to manage vocal trainings with children's choir or mixed choir, mixed voices, and etc. Children choirs mentorship, as I said, and collaboration with composers. Composers are very important people for conductors, because they compose pieces and songs as we want to present their pieces. Sunday choir program, I also said about that. This program is more included other professions, not only musicians in general, because we want to teach to include in choral art and other people who are in IT or other teachers in schools, or having this managing a life in general, but to be connected to choral art. So either. Festivals and concerts are main programs, and conductors exchange, as I said, because we all know that without it, choral art would be die. Because if you don't change your habits, your working experience, maybe you will not continue after in the same level. You are having problems with the communication, I think. Yes, and pandemic impact. Choirs were rehearsing online during the spring, only springtime on 2020. After that, summertime, we had short holidays, summer holidays, and from September, choirs have been divided into smaller groups, only 12 or 15, they said. We divided choirs, so having the bigger space, having little time, not 1 hour or 2 hours for rehearsals, but 30 minutes for each little small group. So we could communicate and could work with choir without stopping and having that problems with COVID. Many choirs reorganized now, and they changed the people, they singing habits or something. But of course, COVID has its impact. But happy to say that Armenia ran through this so fast, I think, than the other countries. We saw that England also were in a big trouble because of the big numbers of the cases, but we passed through that, and after 2020 December and winter time, choirs were rehearsing. I mean, children choirs in schools and youth choirs, state choirs, they were rehearsing and having concerts. Not so big numbers of audiences could attend the concerts, but we were working on, and we didn't stop the rehearsals for so long time as did the other countries. And yes, all the restrictions are removed since 2022. And, people say that we forget to wear masks, but yes, we were in a quarantine or something, because, people are working and they need to communicate to each other. Because of maybe this big wave of COVID, we didn't feel even, I don't think that we had that much time to count these problems because of the problems I mentioned already in 2020. And yes, choirs were back to concerts from spring 2021 for sure. And I think now we are living the best time, because our choirs are happy to meet, to communicate, and to sing to each other. That's why I was wondering how you organize this pandemic situation, and you organize the application about that. And I was really that was interesting for me to know. We didn't need that at that moment, because we really passed very fast through these problems with COVID and the choirs COVID. And yes, these are contacts. If somebody would need to write or communicate with Armenian Choral Conductors Association, I'm happy to be able to help with any information about the Armenian choral music, choral songs, choral compositions, composers. I'm very easy to communicate via Facebook, but also we have a website. It's been in a rebranding period now, conductors.am. You can be in touch with us. And I think I can stop sharing. Yes, Rachel?
Yes.
Are you here?
I'm still here.
I'm sorry if this took too long.
No.
Other screen.
It's really interesting, and it's just so interesting to compare,
Yes.
even though you've not been around for as long as we have, but we have so much in common, and it's interesting to see how your choirs have been in the pandemic and come back, and it sounds like you've been back much faster than we have.
Yes.
I think in the end we've been faster than some other countries as well. It's very variable, isn't it, across
yes, that's because of the number of people. We are in Armenia. We are 3 million of people living. Not so big number of this. So it's because of this, I think. But yes, unfortunately, COVID took everything. I mean, we changed, and our minds changed.
And that's the same in every country, I think, isn't it? Everybody has had to had to make some adapting, and I guess we've all come back slightly differently as well. We've all learned a lot.
Yes.
We certainly have here, and all choirs. Nobody wants to take it for granted anymore. I think that's one of the biggest lessons we've all learned, that the singing that we just did without thinking about before, we realized just how important it is to us, and how it defines us. It's part of us, isn't it? So I think that's been a big plus. And for us in the UK, we have so many different types of choirs in our communities, and we have rock choirs, pop choirs, youth choirs, all choirs. But actually, when everybody was stopped and everybody had to fight for it, nobody cared what sort of choir they were in. That didn't matter at all. Those who would never have spoken to each other before, suddenly everybody was in the same position, and that was really good to see, actually, that everybody was united. And so I think that's had quite an impact here. But it's just, yeah, really interesting to see the work that you do, and the international projects that you do, because I think we have done more in the past, actually, but although the UK is not very good at being international in all ways. But
because you are living in that area which is filled with different people, different nations. And
yeah.
Armenia is too far for that, and I think it's important to be connected to that area, to Europe, to other countries, very improving the skills and the music and the art.
And interesting that we have members who live outside the UK as well, and then they're mainly British people living in other countries. Not all, but most of them are, but not a lot. So I guess that you have, because you have big communities in the US,
and are connected.
Every
Armenian which is going to other countries knows how many Armenians are living there, how to be connected. We are very connected. I don't know why. There's are many jokes about that. That feeling, you can feel that there is somebody should be Armenian or working Armenians. So I don't know, maybe genetically or some feeling, because we know each other. And this is the reason. Of course, you have a lot of communities in different countries, but somehow we are very connected. And we are mostly because we love our country and want to be somehow connected to our country, when even we are very far.
And music is a great way to do that. You have a very particular heritage, which makes Armenia, that must be a lovely way to connect.
I would be very happy if I can communicate with British choirs here in Armenia. You are very welcome to visit the country and to think how to communicate to each other, continue this collaboration. I'm very open. Armenian choirs are very open to see, to learn, to somehow to teach also the Armenian music, to spread maybe something in your country. So I'm very happy that IFCDA was created about this project. Now we are thinking that not to forget about this, because we know each other much easier.
It makes such a difference, doesn't it, to actually be able to talk to somebody and see them and make that connection. And I think we would love to have more connection there. And now that we can run live activity, but also we can do things over Zoom, over Facebook, and all those things. So maybe there are ways for us to connect that way as well. That would be great.
Good.
I wonder if anybody else is listening to us.
happy that we are in a contact, and I believe that Giovanni is somewhere near.
Well, thank you, Giovanni.
If he's here also, we can think to continue or to stop some time.
Well, I know it's been running on Facebook. I can see that. I haven't run it because I think that probably isn't a good idea, as well as the Zoom, but it is there. So hopefully, even if people aren't watching live, they'll pick up on it maybe later on.
Let me see.
All different times, aren't we? So it's 2 p.m. in Armenia now.
Yes, 2 p.m. We are 3 hours. Have this different.
Yeah.
Well, Rachel,
Okay.
I think we enjoyed each other.
I think we had a good chat.
Yes,
it was very interesting, really enjoyable to talk to you, and we have much.
Yes, because this you have this huge experience, and I'm repeating myself again. I'm very encouraging with your organization and your work you have done, and it inspires me, and as well as other conductors here living, who has not so many opportunities to go abroad to present themselves or to work with other choirs, but just seeing or watching your work, it inspires us, all of us. I'm sending my best wishes to all of your members, to your president. I've been singing the John Ratter's song Magnificat. Yes, the part of this Magnificat with a conservatory choir when I was on my diploma program, and I was searching so much to the best piece, and I stopped on John Ratter. So he's my favorite. I don't know, composers.
Many people's favourite, I think. He writes so well. He knows how choirs work and what is singable by people at lots of different levels as well. I think there's always something that will suit a choir.
Very beautiful and very suitable. You know, it was really easy to sing, and they remember still now. These days, my students also had other exams, and they remember. Oh, we remember that you had program Magnificat, John Ratter. Really an amazing person.
Yeah.
Yes, choral musicians are something. They have something very difficult and at the same time very special, very unique. If you meet some choir people, you will notice this. He's something special in his inside. So I love
I agree.
choral music so much, and that's my favorite thing I'm working. And thank you again once more to share this time with me.
Oh, thank you, and to send our best wishes to everybody in the Armenian choral community, and we really hope to keep in touch and work together. That would be really wonderful. I think we would.
Yes, I'm very hopeful that I will meet you in person.
Yes.
And we'll talk about how to be involved in some little project, some internationally. Okay, my hugs and my best wishes, Rachel.
And the same to you.
Giovanni, where are you? Can we stop by yourself?
Okay,
we are closing. Okay, Rachel, close yourself.
It's been lovely to chat, and we'll say goodbye. Have a great weekend, and lovely to talk to you.
Okay. Goodbye, Rachel.
Bye.
See you.
Bye. Thank you, Giovanni.
Bye, dear.
Bye,
Thank you, Giovanni.
Bye.